EduTechGuys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on the site and its programs are those of the participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.
Hello and welcome to FETC2017. This is live conference coverage coming from EduTechGuys Radio. Good morning to you. I'm David.
Hey, I'm Jeff.
And we have got a full, just a packed lineup for you this morning, really all day long. We've got lots of interviews already scheduled with folks who are attending the things that are happening here at FETC. We've also got plenty of open spaces. So if you are tuning in and want to come by and share your story, tell us about what you're doing in your classroom, with your organization, what you're doing here at FETC, come on by the table. We are in the South Concourse, Level 2, just outside of room S230A. That is the Safari Montage Room. You can't miss us. We're the two dudes at the table with all the cool mics and monitors and all the stuff.
And there are roaming bands of really ridiculously loud educators.
Yes.
Screaming and hollering. I'm gonna have to shut this thing down.
This
These
is
kids,
entirely too loud.
This is indoors, people.
You have to use your inside voice.
Between that and the understanding of stairs,
Uh-oh, here it comes.
the rant of the day.
All right.
You know, up on the right, down on the right. I mean, I thought that's. Don't you learn that? Like you're born and you actually jump in and you actually get on board, and then you learn that right after you're born. Up on the right, down on the right.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Generally speaking, that's how transportation works,
in the United
America,
States.
right?
Yeah.
You go one direction on the right. You should be on the right as long as you're going forward. If you're moving forward, be on the right. There you go. How hard is that?
Right, exactly.
There you go. I don't care if it's stairs. I don't care if it's escalator. It doesn't matter. If you're moving forward, be in the right side.
Okay,
So
calm down.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
That's all I need. I feel a little better about
All right, so today going on at FETC, lots of stuff. Today is actually the first day that the concurrent sessions are taking place. They actually fire up about 10 o'clock, and there are tons of concurrent sessions that are going on at each time segment, and they last about an hour long apiece, and so that'll be happening throughout the day. Right now, down in the expo area, at least I think it's in the expo area, they are actually doing various there's a program for STEM awards that's going on. I know there are some I think there's some kind of FETC awards that may be going on. I'm just all kinds of stuff, and as Jeff had mentioned, there are just masses of people everywhere. It's amazing. Today is even more packed than yesterday, and we thought yesterday was packed.
I know we were really busy yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was great. One of the other things we did yesterday was after we shut things down here yesterday afternoon, we went downstairs into the expo center, and we covered like not quite half of the expo center in about an hour and a half. No, in about 2 hours, really. So it is huge. There's over 400 vendors down there, and things to see, things to do. It's amazing. And we did stop at several of them, and we were able to get them recorded and play some, get them to talk a little bit about what they do and what they're doing here at FETC. So we'll be playing those sporadically throughout the day.
Yeah. Here's one now. This is Tigley. Hey, it's EduTechGuys coming from the FETC2017 vendor floor, and we're here with Tigley.
Hi, I'm Amanda Rosenberg, and I'm the Director of Learning at Tigley. And at Tigley, we create physical manipulatives that interact with our learning apps. We aim at ages nursery school up through first grade. We know how important it is for kids at that age to really have a tactile experience while they're learning. And as much as digital content is amazing, what it lacks is that physical piece. And our goal is to bring that physical piece to them, so they're still doing math and literacy, but they're actually touching it as they go through it and learn these new concepts.
And the crowd went wild, so that's awesome. Hey, thanks a million.
No problem.
Yeah, that was Tigley. No, you heard who they were. That's why we did that. Let them tell you the story. Jeff, what is your problem this morning?
That's why we pay you the big bucks, Jeff.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
I didn't know I got big bucks. I haven't seen any of those bucks yet.
Hey,
I got some Kohl's cash, but that's about all I got out of this thing.
That's the big bucks that you get, man. That's what happens around here.
But no, yeah, we'll play several of those throughout the day, and you can hear what's going down on the exhibit floor. If we get a chance today to get finished up, we'll also do the same today. Although we are pretty booked, pretty solid, so we might not be able to make it down. And the vendor floor doesn't stay as open as long today as it did yesterday, I believe.
No, yeah, that's right.
It closes an hour early.
Yep, sure does.
So, we did half yesterday in an hour and a half. And we were literally running between booths. We would walk by them and take some free stuff if they had it, and we keep rolling.
Yeah, I mean, you could spend easily a half a day going through that expo area. And even if you just stopped at the vendors that you were particularly interested in, it would still take you a good couple of hours.
Oh, easy.
Let alone definitely stopping by every booth that was there. So, hey, morning.
But yeah, more loud people. Teachers are so happy.
Just hanging out in the open commons area. And I don't know. There you go.
Doing their thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Holy
hey, so,
smokes.
what's the schedule today?
I don't know. Where am I? We have concurrent sessions. Like they have every day. They have workshops today. So several workshops going on. We also have different things like, let's see what's happening here today. Actually, I can't find it. Again, the expo hall open from 8:30 till 5. So definitely want to go out, check that out. As I mentioned before, they are in the middle of doing the STEM Excellence Awards. And that is, that's not in the Expo Center. That is in North Hall B, taking place right now. And the keynote is being offered by Michael Meechan, a wake-up call, breaking down barriers to high-impact instruction. One of the other cool things that they do here at FETC is, and I'm not sure how the pre-registration works or all that kind of stuff, but they actually take a group of teachers or anybody that wants to go, and they go visit a school here in the area. And so today they're going to go to, I don't even know how you say that, Osceola? Well, no, there's no L. Ocee. I mean, I'm sorry, Ocoee. So I don't know how you say that.
That's interesting. Me either.
But anyway, they're going to be doing that.
I bet if you take the tour, you learn.
There you go. But yeah, they'll have a tour of that. And again, concurrent sessions kick off at 10 o'clock, and they run for an hour long, and they run every hour pretty much the rest of the day. So awesome. We'll be sharing out what some of those particular concurrent sessions are as time goes on. You definitely want to check out your program, your show guide, and see what concurrent sessions are available to you. Again, workshops, concurrent sessions. They got the skill builders, poster presentations, all kinds of really cool stuff going on here at FETC 2017.
2017. Hey, listen, we have about, what time's our first one? 9:30?
Yep.
Hey, we'll drop out and play some great stuff from yesterday, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, we over the last few days that we've been here, we've had the chance to sit and talk with some really cool educators, some just folks that are doing some awesome stuff, either in education or they were in education and have transitioned as edupreneurs or work for really cool organizations. And so we've had the chance over the last couple of days to meet with some folks. And of course, we have all of that stuff archived so that we can play encore presentations of those sit-down interviews with you. And so, yeah, Jeff's getting one ready now. And what you got for us, man?
Deborah Jacoby. Great interview yesterday.
Oh, that was great.
Yep. So, hey, sit back and relax. We'll be right back with EduTechGuys, coming to you live from the Future of Education Technology Conference in Orlando, Florida.
My name is Deborah Jacoby, and on Friday, I'm giving a presentation about basic circuits for elementary educators.
Cool. Okay.
I've been coming to FETC for about, I think the first time I came was 10 years ago, just as a regular educator.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I love it is because there's something for everybody. I mean, I've seen sessions for PE teachers, I've seen sessions for art teachers, and as I've grown in technology, also there's been sessions that grow with me, and I never find like I come and I know everything. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is awesome. So, okay, so you're doing basic circuits?
Correct. So this is geared for the person. Background knowledge of me is just that I was more of a language arts, history, typical elementary teacher, and didn't know much about science and math teaching, and fell into it, stumbled into it. So I really am a believer in tool use and manipulatives.
Sure.
And so what ended up happening for me is that it all ended up being self-taught. I became the computer teacher accidentally. You have an interest and people start just moving you in that direction.
That's right. Hey, you can spell computer. Guess what?
That's right. And so it went from computer room, and then what did we do? We started adding in some of this maker stuff, and then for a short time period, I ran an innovation lab at the elementary level. And what I was finding was that there's many things for computer science people who graduated with these computer science degrees.
Sure.
I would go and I'd take a class on Arduino, and if you say that to an elementary teacher, they're like, that sounds cool. What they're making looks cool. Now how the heck am I going to get there? And so my presentations really try to break it down. And we start at the very beginning. What is a circuit? Well, it's a battery, and you want to make something go. And then we move on from there. We talk about all the different manipulatives that are out there, all of the different ways you can do it, cheapy ways, expensive ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we only have 20 minutes on Friday.
Right,
This is a skill builder session. It's in the hall. And then there's like a little table next door, and hopefully I brought my conductive paint. I brought my my mini toolkit. Just got back. I went over to Skycraft Electronics, which is in Orlando. So anybody who's into all that maker and techie and want to build up their toolkit, we're in the right area. Skycraft. I don't work for them or anything like that.
But still.
It's a lot of fun. And so I hope that people are able to come, and I'm just walking the floor like everybody else.
Yeah.
Just trying to find what the newest and most fun things are out there.
Yeah.
Most innovation.
Yeah, exactly. So what are some of the things that you've done since you've been here so far this week?
So I went this morning to the CS, which is Computer Science Firehouse.
Yes, we've been talking about that all day. Yes.
I ended up hanging out mostly with the Microsoft portion of it. I liked some of because I'm teaching computer science. I liked looking at all like the freebies. I'm always into, because it's good to try before you buy, right?
Yes, that's right.
So I had a good time doing that this morning, and I walked the floor a little bit because the floor just opened, and I'm really into micro Arduino, which it kind of looked like a combination of Legos, little bits, and then that more complicated stuff. So, and since that's my expertise, that's what I look at, is those bridges, taking it from the easier stages to the harder stages.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was going to say. You're doing a whole thing on circuits, and and that's new to me. I'm not familiar with that at all, so I can't wait to go check that out.
You can do it. You can do. Anyone can do it.
Oh yeah, but just from listening to you talk about it, I mean, it seems to really be. Not only tie into what you do, but then be those kind of next steps.
Correct. And that's the biggest thing, is that for me, there is kind of like a spectrum. There's circuitry, then goes to the coding, and then all of those engineering principles go together. And that's what we're seeing in the classroom, art and engineering and architecture class and technology, they're all merging. They're all mushing together now. And so, if you can figure out those in-between steps, it just makes you more comfortable with your students.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely. Well, and you kind of touched on where I was going next. when you understand the very basics of circuits and how all of that connects, and then you get a student who says, well, that's cool, so I want to make I don't know, a vest that lights up, or I want to make there's a story that one of our EduTech friends tells that she had a student who was making a headband.
Right.
And
conductive thread.
And had conductive thread. And what she did was she tied it into an Arduino or something anyway that was monitoring what was going on. And so when that person was having a fever, it would glow red to let everybody else know.
That is an awesome project.
The person didn't know she had
It was
leukemia.
It was chemotherapy. Yeah. You know how that you get a fever during the chemo treatments.
So the person didn't know they were having a fever, but this wasn't a visual indicator to everybody else. Oh, she's having a fever. And it's the same, having the circuits and tying it into the electronics that go with it, all to serve that purpose, but then also into, I'm going to call it this, and I'll probably be crucified, but old school, home ec type stuff. I mean, seriously, sewing.
I agree. I think it's all coming to get back together. We're going full circle. Whereas, once upon a time we were taking out all of those workshops, and we were taking out wood shops, and we were taking out our home ec classes, and I think that's what our maker rooms and our innovation labs are coming. We're just adding it in. We're doing a little bit of tech, we're doing a little bit of engineering, we're doing a little bit of art, and I think it's once you are okay with not knowing how to do everything, then you can build things. I had a similar student who did something with the scarf. They wanted to be able to measure the temperature in their scarf, and so they used that conductive thread. That's a higher level skill. How are we going to get those kids there? So that's where all those other fun tools like conductive paint and conductive tape, and there's lots of different ways to make things go.
That is awesome.
Then connect it to the computer.
That's right.
And then program the computer.
That's correct. That's
exactly
right. There's a whole spectrum there.
There's a company we've dealt with before called Rokenbach. I don't know if you those guys. They're a non-profit robotics company, and they do that same thing. They're building some wonderful, robotic pieces for the early kids to get them used to programming. So we're seeing a lot of it out there, and the non-profit stuff is wonderful. They're in it for the educational, aspect of it totally. So
and some of these higher end companies too, they're starting to understand that. Sure, there's a company that has built maybe these circuit bits that will go together, and there's another company. Well, we've got Scratch.
Right.
Scratch now has downloads that will work with some of these other components. So here you're talking about Blockly, which is not on the spectrum of computer science. That's a manageable bite for elementary students. So that's really neat to see that that's the direction that people are going, that they're taking
it's really
manageable coding and manageable pieces and putting them all together, because then the kids can really create and design some really impressive things, some cool things online. So.
Well, and then the students take those those kind of basic introductory things, and then all of a sudden their mind goes, okay, well, how would I do this, or how would I do that? And it's one of those things where it's okay, well, that's going to require this skill level, or okay, you're going to have to learn how to do this, which is a little more advanced than what you're doing. But how many of those students are like, okay, fine, that's what I have to learn, that's what I'll learn?
In order to use conductive thread, you have to know how to sew first.
Right.
You really do. And I've been in workshops even with adults, with teachers who are all ready to make their circuit, right? All we've done is make a circle, right? One light bulb, right? And then they realize, oh, wait a minute, I've never threaded a needle before. So you're right. It's like, how am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? And I think it incorporates really nicely with FETC and some of the new products that were coming out. So really a lot of fun.
That's really awesome. That's so cool.
I'm Jeff. Sorry, I wasn't here when I got here.
Deborah.
Nice to see you. Okay. So, what's in store for the rest of your FETC conference experience?
Oh, well, I am a big fan of checking out like the newbie companies. I like to trust my gut, and I mentioned the micro Arduino, and I don't know, I haven't seen everybody yet. It's a big floor out there, but that's my big favorite thing to do is talk to some of these little startups and see where they're going, like what they're thinking about, because then it kind of gives me ideas for when somebody throws something new, right? Because there's always something new as an educator in technology.
Yes, exactly.
Well, we'll throw one out there. We're from Arkansas, and one of the companies that we deal with is NWA 3D, which is Northwest Arkansas 3D. Two former science teachers who realized that they needed to get the word out there and provide a better low-cost 3D printer. Their biggest thing about it is great products, but the free support you get. They will zoom in 24/7 with your students, work with them constantly to help them do that. And it's a great little project.
That's a
They're
luxury.
actually here. They came from Arkansas, and they're one of the new startups here.
I'm going to go check them out now that you
Yeah, we
guys
like
said
to use
that.
the term edupreneurs. That's what they are.
Entrepreneurs.
So
I
they're
love
entrepreneurs in the
it.
educational
You can
market.
tell. You can tell when it's an educator.
Yes.
You can tell.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. You know, it's I think it's very cool that that's one of the things that you like to do is go visit with the startups, because I'm sure one of the things that you've experienced in talking with some of the air quotes education startups is that it doesn't take very long for you to talk to them and you go, I appreciate what you're trying to do,
Right.
but you've never spent a day in education, you know, other than like when you were 12 in school or whatever. You know what I mean? You know.
Correct.
You can find the right ones and find the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Not that there's that many wrong ones. I believe more and more
No,
companies, especially even the larger ones, CDWG and Best Buy, they've realized that it's not just about selling a product. It's about making sure that we're using the product the correct way.
It's about use too in the classroom.
Yeah.
I mean, for some of the things we even were talking about earlier, you know, if you speak to somebody who's running a camp, it's different than when they're doing with a small group of 5 kids, and it's different in a group of 26-year-olds.
Right.
So you have to put it in perspective of the user and how easy is that going to be, even if you're not teaching. If you're doing a coaching position, you have to figure out, okay, how am I going to use that for me?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That is awesome, man.
So something we like to do here, 45-second elevator pitch. So you get on the elevator, it's your hero, and they say, who are you? Why do I need to know you? What are you about?
The pressure is
Yeah, there's the
on.
spotlight right there.
Again, I'm Deborah Jacoby. I work down in Fort Lauderdale at Pinecrest School. I am a computer science and innovation instructional technologist. And what I'm interested in, what I'm doing here today is working with basic circuits for elementary school teachers. So breaking it down, making it easier for people to understand so they can then bring it to their classroom.
Take your message to the world. Bring EduTechGuys to your school for fun, interactive professional development. We'll help your teachers, students, and administrator reach today's mobile audience. Students can share classroom learning. Teachers can provide outside of the classroom help and instruction, and administrators can reach out to parents and the community. We'll not only show you how, but we'll have you doing it yourself before the day's end. Reach out to us on Twitter at EduTechGuys or drop us a line by visiting www.edutechguys.com. Bring EduTechGuys to your school, and we'll bring your school to the world.
Hey, you're listening to EduTechGuys, coming to you live from the Future of Education Technology Conference in beautiful Orlando. Well, overcast Orlando today.
That's right. A little overcast.
Still
today,
nice to
but-
look out against those overcast skies and see some nice palm trees out there. Having a great time at FETC2017. Wonderful place here. The Orange County Convention Center is always nice. LRP and FETC have been wonderful. And so far, the conference seems to be cooking right along. We now have someone in the seat, and I'm going to let her introduce herself, tell us who she is, and all that kind of great stuff, and what you do.
Oh, well. Hi. My name's Ellen Weber. I'm actually a certified
No, you're fine.
speech-language pathologist. I just recently retired from Cobb County School District in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Several years ago, I got a specialist degree in educational technology, so I ended up being the technology trainer for our speech department.
Awesome.
And I've been going around doing that ever since I retired.
A lot of fun.
It is.
Isn't it funny how that happens? Is that we now in education, I think years ago you didn't have that opportunity to change much. To find a new venue and stay in education. Has it been exciting for you? I mean, has it been like a complete
Oh, it has.
change?
You know, I'm almost sorry that I'm retiring at this point in education, because right now is when all the cool stuff is starting to happen. So it's like, I don't want to just forget about it,
Yeah.
I still want to stay active in the field. So
Yeah. So FETC this year, what's big for you? What are you here to do and here to see? Or?
I'm actually here to present on how to create your own customizable instructional apps for free, using a combination of free apps, and try to convince teachers to start making some of their own materials and sharing them.
Cool. That's very cool.
Can you give us a little taste of that? What apps do you use? An app to create an app? Is that
Yes.
what you're doing? Awesome.
There's an app for that.
Yeah, there's an app
for that.
Perfect.
It's primarily the free app TinyTap.
Okay.
Is the one that you use for the creation project process, and it requires either an iOS or an Android tablet for creating. But once you have created something and you share it in their marketplace, then anybody can access it on any kind of device or from the internet, from their website.
Cool. That's really cool.
That's very cool.
And what kind of apps are you kind of helping them understand they need to build? Because I think that's a big problem with teachers. That, well, I know I want something, but what do I want?
Yeah. Well, I tried to explain that TinyTap is a tool like PowerPoint. So whatever you would use PowerPoint for, you can use TinyTap for to make it more interactive. So it's any grade level, any subject area. Usually when I do these trainings, I have some suggestions of some projects that can help them, focus
Sure.
and decide something to work on. So it's going to be a hands-on workshop where I just kind of run them through some of the features and let them start creating.
How long is your workshop today?
2.5 hours.
Perfect.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good enough time to get it all out there. That's great.
I tried to do one last week that was like an hour long. So I had like a half an hour to talk and explain everything and a half an hour for them to work, which is like nothing.
Yeah. They walk away going, oh, man, I was almost there.
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah, absolutely.
And when you get teachers in there, sometimes they're worse than students. I'm just saying. That's just
No kidding. Really.
Because you get the varying levels of technical
yeah.
knowledge, and even here, they're all here to learn. I get that, but you run into that a lot. So anything else really stand out for FETC for you this year? Did you go to the keynote?
I did not. I actually just got into town.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey.
You're here for you're now here. We've been here since Tuesday, so we've seen the whole gamut of everything. So retiring, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
That's also, in the educator world, a teacher gets to retire. I look forward to it someday.
It's like now I have the time to do the stuff in education I've always wanted to do that I never had time for before.
And so you plan on doing that? You plan
absolutely.
On, freelancing,
Absolutely.
consulting, doing that whole thing?
I create apps. I also mentor grad students all over the world.
Wow.
So,
that's cool.
So if someone wanted to get in touch with you, Twitter,
Facebook.
Okay. What's your Twitter handle? We'll share it out.
At EWSLP1.
Awesome. We're putting it on the list. And website?
I have a website for speech and language pathologists.
Okay.
But I mean, a lot of special education teachers use it also because everything on there is free to download.
Yeah.
And it's the number 4, GA, like in Georgia, SLPS. So it's for Georgia SLPs. .com.
.com. Cool.
What's really interesting about this FETC is they have the new special ed track. Which we think is really interesting. Vincent Verassi is one of our big fans. We like him.
Yeah.
We're a big fan of what he does, and they've really got some really great stuff on universal education going on. Universal. I think that's the really big thing that's about to happen. And you're right in that market about creating an app for any device.
Yeah.
So that let's talk about, I can use this for a special ed classroom, but it's also going to work in a regular classroom.
That's right.
Or, in a mixed classroom or mainstream classroom. So that's really awesome. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that trend for that universal design for learning because I've seen several districts now have actually done away with their special ed program, saying universal design for learning gives them what they need. I don't think that's possible for every student.
That you still have to have the individualized, focused attention for, especially for some of those special ed students that, where a universal, I mean, that really, that universal, and I realize universal does not necessarily mean one size fits all, but by the same token, in essence, that's what you're trying to do, or at least that's what some places are trying to do. Yeah.
Well, when they tell the teacher, teach to your lowest functioning student and the rest will learn, which is the principle of UDL, that's all well and good unless your lowest functioning student is like in a vegetative state.
Right. Right. And then what do you do?
I mean, there are degrees, and, for a district to just, carte blanche, get rid of the whole special ed program and throw those kids in a general ed classroom where the teacher is not trained to deal with it, I think they're going to do more harm than good.
Yeah.
And that sounds like the opportunity to save money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess that's really interesting. You think about that. when you get those 504s, you get that learning plan for a special ed student. That's really important. I can see them say, well, now we're covering that now. Let's just cut that out all the way. Yeah. Hopefully it won't take that trend. Hopefully it won't go down that road. But, hey, you're going to be in the spot to where, there's the interesting part about retiring and being a consultant. Your voice can now be your voice, and you don't have to worry about your district or your employer saying, no, don't say that. Yeah,
well, that's exactly what I was going to say. If you once you retire and if you plan to continue presenting, I mean that is a great
platform,
alternate perspective to show folks and say, here's the other side, almost like the dark side of universal access.
Yes.
That's
pretty cool. So we'd like to do this thing here on the show. It's a 45-second elevator pitch. So you hop on the elevator and there's your hero. And they say, who are you? What do you do? And you have this opportunity to impress them. Let them know about you and what you do, your role in ed tech and your role in education. So 45 seconds. This is your soundbite. Cool.
Well, I just retired from teaching and working for 40 years with special ed students as a speech language pathologist, and also interested in educational technology. So I'm currently going around training primarily on how to use the free app TinyTap. And there's a really interesting article that I did for the EdTech Hub publication, January 17th. It came out that discusses some of the effects that using that with my students had, not on like academic goals, but other areas of their life that impact their learning, like attendance and attention and things like that. So that's really interesting to see the other side of how technology is affecting students, not just, are they learning their curriculum standards. So that's kind of my goal in life. I love the TinyTap company. It's a small company. They don't have a big advertising budget like Google or Apple does.
Right.
So they're kind of dependent on people like me going out and spreading the word.
Yeah,
cool.
Evangelizing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Can we get a picture real quick?
Sure.
Awesome. You can stay right there, and I'll just shoot it.
Yeah, we like to take a picture of.
Action shot.
Yeah, that's right. Interacting through the radio on the line.
Interesting side note, I used to be a radio disc jockey before I became a speech language pathologist.
Awesome. That's cool.
That is great.
That's kind of how this started. I worked that way in college, and in high school I was a DJ, and David was too.
Yeah.
We were sitting around one day and said, we should do a podcast on EdTech.
Well, you guys probably are not old enough to remember this, but back then when I got my FCC broadcasting license, women were not broadcasting on the radio.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
yeah.
I could not get a job. Everybody I applied with heard my tapes, watched me, apply and perform for them. They said, you're great, but you're a woman. We're not going to risk our ratings on it.
Isn't that wild?
Wow, that is so
isn't it great
crazy.
it's changed? I got my license at 16.
Yeah.
And our station had no female disc jockey.
Yep.
Yeah, it was all.
And nobody wanted to be the first one to risk their ratings.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
And now, luckily, women are pretty much dominating radio that exists still to this day over the air. That's awesome.
Somebody finally got smart somewhere. I mean, seriously. It really is.
But for a few years on our campus radio station where I went to college, I had a blast.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Hey, well, thank you for stopping by.
You're
Before you
welcome.
go, we
Thank
want
you.
to give you a token of appreciation
great.
for. That's right. That's all the swag we can afford. So there you go.
It's okay. Love it.
But when you finish your session, or if you see the chair open today or tomorrow, and you want to stop by and maybe share something with us, please do.
Okay, maybe I'll stop by after the session and let you know how it went.
Awesome.
Oh, that'd be great.
Talk about some of the things that people were creating and everything.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes.
And
man, I would love that.
let the folks know if they want to talk about your session with us. Tell them to come by.
Okay.
We'd love to hear it.
We'll do that.
Thank you, Ellen.
Cool.
And you're right outside 238.
238.
Right outside.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. That is
Thank
great.
you.
Thank
Yes,
you so much.
Thank you much. Hey, you're listening to EduTechGuys Radio, coming to you live from the Future of Education Technology Conference in beautiful Orlando, Florida. We want to thank Ellen Weber for stopping by and telling us about her session that's coming up, building apps in the classroom so that the teachers have that ability just to knock out those apps as fast as they want to and build them specifically for what they need, which is pretty darn cool.
It was and one of the other things I liked was, her presentation, she's presenting to the teachers on how the teachers can build an app for use in their classroom. But, she talked about using the same app with her students, having the students build the app. So to me, that's one of those things that I really love it when you have someone who's teaching teachers how to use it, but then the extension, how do the students use this? How do we get it in the students' hands to get them creating content and apps? And so that's very cool. And hopefully she'll come back and visit with us after her session and share some of the ideas that the people in her session came up with.
Yeah, that'll be pretty awesome.
I think it'd be great.
Be really exciting for that to happen. Yeah, listen, hey, sorry. Got stuff going on here. Bum, bum, bum. Sorry, we're doing a little housekeeping here with the old one by one. Hey, if you're listening to us, please drop out to our website, www.edutechguys.com. Take a look. A lot of blog posts out there. We're getting better at that. It's like juggling spinning plates, or spinning juggling plates, one of the two, to keep everything social media and the content rolling. Most of the time we're just talking. So that's pretty much half of it right there. You can also catch us on the web at twitter.com/edutechguys. Heck, just go to Google, type in EduTechGuys. You'll probably find us pretty easily.
Yeah, exactly. So it's about 20 till 10 right now here in Orlando, and folks are coming out of the Expo Center. They're coming out of various breakout workshops and what have you, and a lot of folks are heading into the 10 o'clock concurrent sessions. And as Jeff had mentioned yesterday, well, we've been talking about really the entire time. They have the different tracks that are available. It's an educator track, special ed track, early learning, administrator, an IT track. And so some of the concurrent sessions that are going on that are coming up at 10 o'clock, they have cool ed tech programming robots and tools for young coders, cloudy with a chance of BLT. I have no idea what that's about. Mobile media in the library and classroom, mobile tools that you can use tomorrow, the weird, wild, and wonderful side of education technology. There's a meet and greet with Florida Department of Education. Also things like navigating the shift, how to obtain accessible education materials for all students, keys to understanding and implementing universal design. We talked a little bit about UD with Ellen. And her take, which I thought was great. I think it's really cool when you have someone who's in that particular field. She's in special ed, and who understands or appreciates universal design. But by the same token, she has her own take on what are some of the pitfalls of implementing universal design. So anyway, there's actually that has nothing to do with the session that's going on here at 10 o'clock, but just throwing that out there. Also, there's a thing, top tech toys to transform your classroom. So all kinds of stuff happening here in the concurrent sessions at FETC in Orlando. And if you happen to be listening in the surrounding area and you're in Orlando and you're not registered, you can actually walk in the door here at the convention center in the South Concourse, go down into the Expo Center, and you could register today, get your one-day pass to the conference.
Yep, bingo.
Yeah, it's very cool. Bingo.
Use my word. I was going to get it in today somewhere. You'll hear it another 52 times before the day's over.
That's right. As always, we want to thank the good doc Nate, who is handling a lot of our social media and audio